Hey everyone, my name is Dean Ray and I'm a coach here at the Sales Gym. Today I want to talk to you about something I'm actually very passionate about, and that is self-improvement and goal setting. So every new year, if you're like me, you probably think, I want to be a better person this year. I don't want to accomplish X, Y, and Z task, or I want to be this different version of me that I have in my mind that maybe I've thought about becoming several times before, but this is the year I'm going to get it done. Now, what happens for most people is they have these grand visions, but they don't have a discernible path to get there. And often this leads to flaming out and really never achieving that end goal. So today I'm going to talk about a system that I've implemented to help me get to where I actually want to go in life and ensure that in life I'm actually progressing rather than stagnating or regressing, which is typically what you see. So let's go ahead and talk about the first step in this. Now, the first step is to have a clear vision of who you want to be and what that end goal looks like. So what I'd like you to do is just take a minute, think about who you want to be on December 31st, 2023. So who is that person and how do they differ from the person you are today? All right, so now that you've taken a chance to think about who that person is, now think of what are some of the things that you accomplished this year? What are some key goals that you had in mind, maybe some lofty goals that you've always wanted to get done, but they've always felt a little bit too big? Now, what does it look like on the backside of 2023 if you've actually accomplished that? All right, so now that you've thought through who you want to be and what you want to accomplish, now I want you to think through how this is impacting your life and your relationships. If you become this new you and you accomplish those things you actually care about, what is that going to mean for your relationships with your loved ones, with your significant other, with your children, with your friends? What is it going to look like and how are things going to be different? Now that you've established what your end goal actually looks like, who you're going to be and what you're going to accomplish, now we can start creating some discernible paths on how to get there. All right, so now that you've thought through who you want to be, where you're going, and what those accomplishments are, it's time to set out our lofty goals. So my advice for this is pick maybe 3 to 5 achievable goals that you think you can accomplish this year. Anything more than that, you're going to find you're probably going to run out of motivation and time. Whenever you pick too many goals and you're pushing in too many directions at once, it's really tough to find the time in the day to actually get those things done, and your focus is going to start to wane. So my advice, pick 3 to 5 pretty lofty goals, but achievable, and set those out as the end destination where you're trying to be at the end of the year. All right, so we have these end goals. We understand what the end destination is. Ideally, we're going to be trying to hit somewhere, something lofty by December of this year. So how do you keep your motivation high and how do you sketch out an actual path to get to this end goal? Something I've realized about myself is if I have a goal in December, oftentimes my motivation starts to wane in May, June, and July, and it's really tough to keep myself on track. So something I found very useful for keeping myself focused is setting more short and intermediate range goals that I call milestones. So if you have a milestone set in March, you have a milestone set in June, you have one set again in September or October, what that's going to do is it's going to give you something to shoot for in the shorter term range, and it'll give you that dopamine hit you're looking for when you accomplish your goal, as well as ensuring that you're very focused on tasks that'll actually get you to that milestone, and it doesn't feel like it's forever away all the way at the end of the year, like your bigger December goal. Now, to give a little more clarity on what these milestones might look like, say if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to lose 20 pounds by December. So what you might want to do is set up for March, having lost 5 pounds, and then say June, having lost 10 pounds, then September, October timeframe, having lost 15 pounds. If you're doing this and you're hitting these milestones, it'll keep you motivated. You'll know you're on your path to getting your goal accomplished, and it'll ensure that you're not going to lose that motivation to actually drive through and get your goal accomplished. Another example might be if you're trying to write a book, maybe you want to get an outline done in January, maybe you want to get the first few chapters done in March or April, and then maybe you're trying to get the rest of the book finished and starting on editing coming into July or August. Whatever it might be, think through what the pathway to get to your final goal and what that might look like, and then figure out what achievable milestones are necessary to accomplishing that goal, and then schedule those out along the way. And that will help you drive towards some more achievable shorter term goals, and it'll keep your motivation levels high. Okay, so we've talked about your end goals, your milestones on how to get there. So how do we actually put this in motion and get to work? Well, one of the things you're going to want to do is look at your very first milestone and think through what you're going to need to accomplish and how much work you're going to need to put in to actually get there by the desired date. That'll give you a clear idea on how many actions you need to take on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis to get that accomplished. So if you're writing a book, maybe you set a time limit of, I'm going to write for 1 hour a day or 2 hours a week, or maybe I'll write one chapter a week or one chapter every 2 weeks. Whatever it might be, get those goals set and then ensure you're sticking to them so you can actually get to your milestones on a realistic time frame and something that feels like, yeah, I'm on track to get this done. Another example of that might be if you're trying to lose weight, maybe you're deciding I'm going to work out 3 times a week. I'm going to do 10,000 steps a day, and I'm going to ensure I'm eating no more than 2,500 calories a day, and I'm cooking healthy food at home. Whatever it might be, set out some actual task in front of you and put them on your calendar saying, I'm going to do these things. And that task on your calendar is your promise to yourself that you're going to get these things accomplished. Okay, so we have our goals, we have our milestones, we actually have the task on the calendar. How do we stay on track and then make sure we don't start ignoring those tasks? Well, for me, what I found that worked personally is focusing on weekly and monthly reviews to ensure I'm staying on track. So every single week, once I actually get the week done, I'm going to, on Sunday, look at my schedule for the last week and say, did I accomplish my task or did I skip any? And if you skip some tasks, don't beat yourself up. It's not a huge deal, but just analyze the reasons why you skip those things and try to think through, is my goal sustainable? Do I need to make an adjustment to my actual scheduling? Or do I just need to suck it up and bring a little bit more discipline to the table? Whatever it might be honest with yourself, give yourself some grace, and think through how you actually did over the previous week. Then with those lessons learned, look at the week ahead and what's in front of you and figure out what you need to do differently to ensure that you're staying on track with your actual goals and you're actually accomplishing what you laid out on your schedule. And then what I do is at the end of the month, I actually take the time to think through more of a longer review, where I'll look at the previous month, those previous 4 weeks, kind of see a pattern of any task I missed, or maybe even task I really enjoyed, I spent more time doing. And then I reassess, are my milestones realistic? And do I need to make any adjustments to my actual scheduling to ensure I get this done right? Once I do that every single month, then I'll schedule out the next month's task, ensure that all the events are on the schedule I want on the schedule. And then I have no excuses on missing any of those tasks because I actually thought it through. So if you keep this system in place of weekly reviews and then monthly, a little bit longer reviews and a little bit of thoughtfulness, what you're going to find is you're going to keep your motivation levels high. And if you're starting to run into issues where you can't really keep a habit up for whatever reason, you'll be able to understand what those reasons are, and you'll be able to make some adjustments. So that's it. That's my system. Think through a vision of who you want to be at the end of this year and what you want to accomplish. Then go ahead and set some realistic but slightly lofty goals at the end of the year. And then we're going to go ahead and set out what the milestones are that are going to help us get from where we are here in January all the way through in December in a way that you think is realistic, keeps you motivated, and ensures that you complete your task. Once you've done that, go ahead and think through what are my daily, weekly, or monthly tasks I need to accomplish to get this done. Put those on your schedule, and then hold yourself accountable every week and every month with these reviews. And by the end of the year, you're going to be a completely different person because you decided you wanted to be. So that's what I'm doing this year. I'm going to be focusing on creating my task list and my goals. And I want to make sure that whenever I complete this year, I'm proud of what I've done while still being able to keep some room on the schedule for the things that actually matter, which is our family, our friends, and the relationships we're forming. So good luck out there. Good luck on becoming the better version of you. And if you ever want to talk and reach out and discuss what you're doing a little bit differently, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to gain some perspective and then maybe find adjustments I can make to my own plans to ensure that I'm more successful year to year.